Okay, I would like to call the September 12th, 2024 Plan Commission meeting to order. If you would please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Before I ask for a roll call, let me officially introduce our newest Plan Commission member, Marty Flynn. Thank you and welcome to the Plan Commission.
Thank you.
So Christine, can we have a roll call, please?
Bill Thomas,
Yes, here.
Ken Carroll,
Yes.
Cheryl Slavaski,
Yes.
Angelo Desario,
Yes.
Jeff Peterson,
Yes.
Marty Flynn,
Yes.
John Stanton. Thank you.
Okay, so first thing we'll do is I'd like to have a motion to approve the minutes from the Plan Commission meeting held on August 8th, 2024.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Peterson, second by Commissioner Slabozowski. Roll call, please.
Jeff Peterson,
Yes.
Cheryl Slavaski,
Yes.
Angelo Desario,
Yes.
Marty Flynn,
Yes.
Ken Carroll,
Yes.
Bill Thomas.
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you.
Okay, we have one case on the agenda for tonight, and it is a public hearing and consideration of case number V-24-4-9-1, a request of the Cheney-Manji School District 88 Board of Education seeking approval of a variation to Section 6.6-1B and Table 1 of the Crest Hill zoning ordinance for the Cheney-Manji School property located at 400 Elsie Avenue in Crest Hill, Illinois. If approved, this requested variation would reduce the required front yard setback along Center Street from 30 feet to 15 feet to accommodate the dedication of a portion of the school property as public street right-of-way and allow for a 4,795 square foot addition to be constructed on the northeast corner of the existing building. Christine, is all the paperwork in order?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that being the case, I would like to have a motion to open the public hearing for case V-24-4-9-1.
So moved. Second.
Motion by Commissioner Carroll, second by Commissioner Peterson. Roll call, please.
Ken Carroll,
Yes. Yes.
Jeff Peterson,
Yes.
Cheryl Slavaski,
Yes.
Angelo Desario,
Yes.
Marty Flynn,
Yes.
Bill Thomas.
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you.
Public hearing is opened at 7:03 PM. Again, the subject of this hearing is to discuss case V-24-4-9-1. I would like to ask our interim Community and Economic Development Director, Ron Mensker, to give us the specifics of the case.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you, Chairman. So this is kind of a unique case. It's also somewhat of a housekeeping matter, I would best describe it as. So the Cheney-Manji School, as you know, it's been there forever, over in the old part of the community. And they are in the process of building an addition on the northeast corner of the existing building. And based on the existing configuration of the property, the addition complies with the setback requirements that the city has for the underlying zoning district which it's located in. Specifically, the building addition is set back at least 30 feet from the front yard property line along Center Street. The fact of the matter is, though, however, a portion of that property line along Center Street is not along Center Street, it's in the middle of Center Street. So the school district actually owns property that extends out into the middle of the pavement along a portion of the Center Street frontage of the property. The addition was designed to comply in location anyway with the applicable setbacks of the city's zoning ordinance and the R1 district that it's located in. But as the city was reviewing the engineering design plans for the project, our city engineer identified that the school district owns part of the road. That's a city-maintained road. That's not typical and normal. Normally that all the public improvements, the road and the curb and gutter and the storm sewers and all the sidewalks adjacent to that are typically located within what's called a dedicated public right-of-way, which is a strip of land that the city owns as a fee simple type ownership, and all of its public improvements are located in that. In this case, that's not the case. Some of Center Street along a portion of the school district property is located all within the public right-of-way, but the public right-of-way jogs and the school district property extends out into the public right-of-way. So the city engineer suggested that the school district voluntarily dedicate a portion of its property to the city of Warrenville, or city of Crest Hill, as public right-of-way. And the school district was open to that, but it creates some zoning issues. If that property is dedicated as public right-of-way, then the property line officially moves back closer to the front of the new building addition. Instead of being 30 feet, more than 30 feet away from the front of the new building addition, it would be closer to 15 or 16 feet, 14 feet, 18 feet, I don't remember, it's somewhere in there. So the school district said, hey, yeah, we're okay with dedicating this, provided that the city take the lead and absorb all the costs and time, energy, and effort to, number one, create the plat of dedication that's required to formally dedicate part of their property to the city as public right-of-way. And then, probably more importantly from their perspective, that the city would initiate the process that we're dealing with tonight. We'd go through a public hearing process, and the city would process a zoning variation, a front yard setback variation, that would reduce the minimum required front yard setback for that new building addition from 30 feet down to 15 feet to accommodate the relocation of the property line. So that's what we're here for tonight. I think it's, tried to explain it, but I think this isn't typical and normal. But I do want to recognize for the public record that the building addition that's currently under construction, as their property is currently configured, complies with all applicable zoning setback regulations. The variation is only required because they are willing to voluntarily dedicate a portion of their property as public right-of-way, which is a unique circumstance in my perspective, and I feel that it definitely warrants the approval of the zoning variation. The zoning variation isn't going to change anything physically what's happening out there.
Okay. Thank you, Ron. So at this point, I'd like to ask our representative for the Cheney-Manji School design work to come to the podium and either kind of agree with what Ron said, or if you want to add anything else, please do. But I first ask you to state your name.
I'm Charles Newman. I'm the architect for the Cheney-Manji School District and the addition that's being put on the building right now.
Okay, and then if you would raise your right hand and swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Ron did a great job explaining it. It is kind of an unusual situation where the school district owned the property to the center line of the street. And so the Board of Education is, when the city came to the superintendent and asked if the school district would be willing to dedicate that property back to the city, the Board of Education was in favor of doing that. So great job, Ron, and exactly as Ron explained it, with no exceptions.
Anybody have any questions? Charles? Jeff? Marty?
No.
Angelo? I have nothing. So I was fascinated by the plat of survey and the plat of dedication. And so that I'm sure I'm wrong, and I apologize if I ask you something and I'm wrong about it, because it's like maybe I'm having a senior moment. But I'm looking on here, and it's summarized in heavy black lines, the area that we're talking about, approximately 17 by 122. And then in the center, it says area summary to the heavy lines, 2410 square feet, which is, you know, about correct, or .491 acres. And .491 acres is a lot bigger than that. What am I missing here when I see that point? It should be 0491 acres.
That's interesting. An acre is what, 43,000 square feet? So
43.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. You're asking Chuck, and I don't mean to interject, but he's a little disadvantaged because part of the agreement that the city came to with the school district is the city was going to take responsibility and took responsibility for preparing this plat of
Oh, okay.
dedication. So this is not something that the school district prepared and submitted for this application. This is something that the city
But
engineer.
is that right? Should-
No, you accurately pointed out.
Yeah,
You know,
okay.
2,400 square feet is not .491
Okay.
acres.
Yeah.
It's .0491
There you
acres.
go.
So the
All right.
decimal point's in the wrong place there. and
See,
we'll
I
make
knew,
sure that
Charles,
gets
that's why I apologize. I knew it wasn't your mistake. It was our mistake, you know? So, okay, it's no big deal. It's just, I was just fascinated by the drawing. Okay, are there any more questions? All right, thank you. You can sit down, and obviously there is nobody in the audience that wants to come forward and make a comment. So that being the case, then, I would like to have a motion to close the public hearing.
I'll make that
Motion by Commissioner Peterson,
Second.
second by Commissioner Slabozowski. Roll call, please.
Jeff Peterson,
Yes.
Cheryl Slabowski,
Yes.
Angelo Desario,
Yes.
Marty Flynn,
Yes.
Ken Carroll,
Yes.
and Bill Thomas.
Yes, public hearing closed at 7:12. Okay, Ron has already mentioned, as you would have read, that both our city engineer, Ron Wiedemann, and our interim community economic development director, Ron Menser, both support the variation request. Is there anybody else that has any comment before we come up with a motion? So as far as conditioning this approval, would it automatically be that there would be two steps? The first step, if we approve it, is that they will go ahead and dedicate this property to the city of Crest Hill. And once they've done that, then we would turn around and make the variation in their request. I mean, how does that work? Is there a sequence, or?
I think you can approve it and make that the condition. The condition is that they dedicate it. So your variance, your setback variance would not take effect until
Yeah,
the dedication is done. So the way I envision it is they'd both come before the city council at the same time. So it would be approving the plan commission recommendation, presuming that you're in favor of it, and then it's conditioned upon the dedication, and I presume that we would have the dedication ready at the same meeting, and we could either do one before the other, or, you know,
Yeah.
as long as it's conditioned upon, it doesn't become effective until the dedication is done. But I envision it all being done at the same time. It's just one's going to go before the other at the time of the city council meeting.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, this does. And that's exactly where I was going with it. So, based on Cheney-Manji School District deeding the city of Crest Hill the property in question on Center Street, based on them doing that, then our approval would be based on the city of Crest Hill granting the variation in the setback so that they would be in condition. So with those two conditions, I would like to have a motion to approve the request for a variation to section 6.6-1B and table 1 of the Crest Hill zoning ordinance for the Cheney Mangi School property located at 400 Elsie Avenue, Crest Hill, Illinois, that would reduce the required front yard setback along Center Street from 30 feet to 15 feet to accommodate the dedication of a portion of the school property as public street right-of-way and allow for a 4,795 square foot addition to be constructed on the northeast corner of the existing school.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner DeCerio,
Second.
second by Commissioner Carroll. Roll call, please.
Angelo DeSario,
Yes.
Ken Carroll,
Yes.
Cheryl Slabzewski,
yes,
Jeff Peterson,
Yes.
Marty Flynn,
Yes.
Bill Thomas.
Yes.
Motion carries, thank you.
So Charles, the Plan Commission has approved the request for a variation to section 6.6-1B in Table 1 of the Crest Hill zoning ordinance for the Cheney Mangi School property located at 400 Elsie Avenue. The Planning Commission is only a recommendation body, as you well know, as you told me you used to be on a Planning Commission. So it will come before the City Council with our recommendation. Do we have an idea when that might be? Is this going to come before a workshop, first of all?
And of course, it has to go to the workshop.
Sorry. Didn't mean to bring that up. Would it be as soon as the week after next?
It could be, there's no
All right, so we will get back
pressing urgency to
and
it.
tell you that, you know, when it's gonna come up, and you might wanna be there just to answer any questions. And, okay, so I thank you for coming, and, pleasure meeting you.
My pleasure. Thank you all for your time.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, I have two other items that are not on the agenda. I guess they're kind of in a way of updates. We've been talking about implementing the Mooney Code for the packets. I think I don't know how many have gone on the website now, but it's now active on the website. Everything we got in our packet is now on the website. So I did hear a little bit from Christine before, but now all we're waiting for, Christine, are the tablets. Can you give us an idea of where we stand there?
We got the 3 quotes for 3 different tablets, actually an iPad, a ThinkPad, and a laptop. So it'll be brought now before the work session on the 23rd for council to talk about and then voted on at the next council meeting on what they choose. So I'm looking at if they approve it, probably about November, you should be getting them, hopefully, and I will then show you how to use them. Some of you probably already know. But everything will be put right on here for you.
Are the different options different sizes?
Yes, because you have, this is what we work off of as a council. Then there's the ThinkPad, which is a smaller version of a laptop, and then you have a laptop, which is a larger size. So they vary, they range in price. So,
Laptop most expensive?
the what?
Is the laptop the most expensive?
No,
I don't know about you all, but when I use those things, the bigger they are, the better they are for me. And, I mean, I can't do anything on my phone, it's just too small, even if I make it big, but, so I don't know. Some of you say, oh, I can do it on the smallest to the biggest, but, if we can influence the decision by saying, let's go as big as we can, within reason, and, does that make sense?
these do zoom in. If they do with these,
Yeah.
they do zoom in.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can zoom in pretty good with these.
Yeah, I have an iPad Pro that's a little bigger than that I use for everything. I used to use it for work, and, so I don't know what the price, well, you know,
It's gonna be up to the council.
yeah, you know where we're coming from, so if I have to stand up when we're talking about it, I will, and say, you know, based on, well, I'm not gonna say how old we are, but, yeah, okay, thank you for that update. It's almost gonna be like a Christmas present, then.
Yes.
All right, so last month at the Plan Commission meeting, between Mike and I, we talked about working on the bylaws, and that we ran into a little bit of a problem in that the section on attendance conflicted with what was in the Crest Hill ordinance, city code ordinances. And so Mike has been diligently working now to verify that, and I believe this coming Monday, you're gonna be presenting that to the city council? I don't like that smile.
Perhaps.
Perhaps.
If you recall, at the work session, at the tail end of the discussion, they opened up the issue of bumping the Civil Service Commission pay. Well, the Civil Service Commission only meets 6 times a year. And my question is, they're paid on the same monthly, based on a 12-month deal, so they would get paid the same amount as you folks for doing half the meetings, and I don't know whether that's what the council realized they were doing.
Yeah, I don't think they knew that.
So,
Thought about it.
so I don't know whether, I'm still waiting to hear back from the interim administrator whether he has the ordinance that is what they did on Monday night. He has that. I've drafted it. It's ready to go for Monday, but I pointed that issue out to him and said, I don't know whether you want to put a pause on it till you can get it back to a work session to discuss the Civil Service Commission portion, not the Plan Commission portion. I also offered to split it out and just have an ordinance that updates the Plan Commission section for Monday and put the civil service off till a work session. I just don't know whether they want to wait and kill less trees or whether they want to do it in separate. So I just don't know yet, but I've done my part and I'm waiting for instructions.
Okay. It's really fortunate that we can continue to do our job with the bylaws the way they are. So it's not interfering with it, but eventually we definitely want them to be updated and in sync with the city ordinance code so they can never be questioned. But it's not a high priority, but I hope, we were hoping we could get the bylaws on the October agenda for us. We might still be able to.
You may still be able to, because if it can be voted on for sure even if we don't do it this coming Monday, October 1st or September 30th would be a work session. The first meeting in October would be the 7th, and we'd have our Plan Commission meeting on the 10th.
Yeah.
So we could conceivably, if it's passed on the 7th, we could conceivably have an agenda item to tweak the bylaws one last time, hopefully for a long time.
Okay.
On the October meeting rather than having to wait till November.
Yeah. The people years from now who succeed us on the Plan Commission will have no idea how much work went into the bylaws that they're reading. And they'll probably say, who put this silly thing together? I don't know.
Well,
Okay, does
they
anybody
better be
have-
thanking us, you and me at least.
Does
we have
anybody
put some
else have
time.
any new business or any business comments they want to bring up?
I just have one comment. I will not be here attending the October meeting and possibly the November meeting. I'm due for surgery. I'm getting a knee replaced, so depending on how I feel, I know I won't be here in October, but I'll hopefully be back in November.
Well, then I can offer that if you are laid up due to a medical issue, you can participate remotely if you wish to for either of those meetings, as long as you notify Christine as much in advance as you can, so we can prepare for it. So you could actually participate. There's a new policy that the council passed. It applies to all the council and Plan Commission and any other committees or commissions. So
Yeah, good. Yeah, we'll stay in touch on that. That's
Yeah.
good. Thank you. Any more? Otherwise, I'd like to have a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
And Marty, we're going to let you do your first second here.
Second it?
All right, Marty.
Second by Commissioner Flynn. Roll call, please.
Jeff Peterson,
Yes.
Marty Flynn,
Yes.
Ken Carroll,
Yes.
Cheryl Slabzewski,
Yes.
Angelo Desario,
Yes.
and Bill Thomas.
Yes, and I was wrong. I thought, well, we'll probably go to 7:30, and look at that, 7:24. Meeting adjourned, 7:24.